Verthandy says, I was doing
Hello.
some nonsense that might be
Slash
funny to
stream
implement for the
started.
stream.
Hello.
I just failed at it.
Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hi. Hello. Well, you see, I was fooling around with AI, right? I was not for the stream. I was like trying to figure out how to make an AI for my notes. You see, I have this program that I use to make the game. Basically, it's where I keep my stuff to make it more like organized and stuff, right? So
Tyler Wright says, low no worries face, with tongue stuck out.
why did you have to like emphasize the last part? Huh. So I had this program, right? Whenever I use it, it creates like, think about it like a post-it, right? And I can basically create links between post-its. So I can literally spam.
Because the
stuff.
text description of the emoji has dashes like this.
Apparently that's not justification. You just prove it. That is not a reason. Anyways, I was using that thing, right?
Underline underscore perhaps.
Apparently not, because it read the underscore. So, that thing creates post-its, right? And it allowed me to link like different post-its into this like map, this graph or of ideas, and I can like grab pieces of post-its and notes and like separate them into their own like own notes in the graphs, right? And you see the graphs is starting to like grow quite a bit, right? Between the lore, the characters, and everything, right? So
Ricardo Lusoli says, okay, I'll stop.
okay. The graph is green silly, right? So I wanted to make it so this AI will go through the notes, check what it says, look for any notes that are like related, right? If in a note I mention, I don't know, slimes, it will link that note with the slime node, right? That was the idea. So it would like comb through the nodes and reorganize it in such a way that the links make sense, right? Well, when I was doing that, I realized something. What if
DZ says,
what if I grab those notes from the game, from the lore, right? And I connect them all to an AI that would use it as like a knowledge base, right? And then connect that AI to this chibi. So now I have a chibi that can basically answer any lore questions, right? I will make Historia live up to her name of being basically this like compendium of
Tyler Wright
history.
says, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. This convention of knowledge, right? This living book of lore about my game. Yeah. Wouldn't that be awesome? So I was like, what about spoiler leak? I can control what the AI can actually see within the files, right? So I could just simply tag whatever I don't want.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Mundo. Whatever I don't want it to see, I just tag it as to be excluded from the knowledge base because I can do that, right? And I would make like the chibi.
Ricardo Lusoli says, yo.
Yeah. It will make the chibi basically a wiki about my game. Wouldn't that be really nice? And I was trying to figure out how to do it. And then I discovered, you see, the program I was using for the AI doesn't really like special characters, right? Or emojis. It kind of just breaks. And if you check the description of this stream, you can see that I particularly enjoy using like special characters. I didn't write my notes in Spanish. I usually write in English. Even my personal
Ricardo
notes.
Lusoli says, oh.
Yeah, there is a bunch of decorations that I use. So that was breaking the AI. And I was trying to figure out how to fix it. And then I saw the time and I was like, okay, this is going to have to wait. Yeah. Can you just as a filter for those characters? All you see is that the AI I was making works in a very particular way. Basically grabs like, let's say, a note, a post-it, whatever, right? And it basically gives it a score. Think about it as if it was like a ranking.
Ricardo Lusoli says, can't you just add a filter for those characters?
Not really. You see, it gives a score that is not really like between 1 and 100. It's more like a position, right? It will be ranked in like, this is more lore heavy, or this is design, or this is a character, etc. And each one of these scores is like a position in a graph, in a 3D graph. Well, not 3D, maybe like a graph with 12 dimensions, right? And depending on those scores serve as a position within that graph, right? That multi-dimensional graph. So you will have like one node here, and another node over here, and one over here, right? So what I wanted was for the AI to grade each node, place it in a graph, and when
Ricardo Lusoli says, ah, I see.
Yeah, and when I tell it, hey, I need you to connect every node that is within certain distance, it will go and check a certain area around a node, and then it will connect them depending on the distance. right? That's what the AI does. So, to do that, it has to like check the semantics within the node. So it has to read it. So I cannot simply say, hey, ignore the characters like this. Because sometimes that actually breaks the meaning of a word. Yeah. But that's basically what I'm doing. I'm building this multidimensional graph of nodes. Yeah. Yes. And that's when I got the idea of, hey, how about if I turn this instead of just a grapher, an AI that graphs the nodes into a position, into a vector? How about I make it a proper chat AI for the stream? And I was trying to figure out how to do that when I found the bug. And you see, I didn't notice the bug immediately because not all my nodes use special characters, right? So it's like this small amount of nodes that cause the issue. And I don't know which, because the AI simply ignores them, basically skips over the node, and just throws a random error without really giving much context. Yeah. What I was going to do was to grab a few of the nodes that was like causing issues and basically remove all like special characters and then reread the node to make sure nothing was lost when it comes to information, and then replace the node with one that is clean. Because fixing the AI is, let's just say, is not. It's more like.
Ricardo Lusoli says, maybe make a program that copies and filters your nodes to another folder the AI has access to?
I can just add a tag that the AI is forced to skip over. I don't need to do something so complex. Yeah. Or maybe instead of using an exclusion tag, I can make an inclusion tag where I say, hey, you are only allowed to use these nodes. Yeah. Yeah, it's very. I find it very hit and miss in general. Yeah, because every AI I have used has basically hallucinated at least
Ricardo
once.
Lusoli says, fair enough.
Yeah. Every AI I know hallucinates. Basically makes up information from nothing. So they are not very trustworthy. So I always need to double check. Yeah. Yes. By the way, that means I have currently a proper AI running on my computer. Yeah. You see, I never actually tried to implement an AI like on my computer locally, right? So I always had this impression that you needed a lot of computer power to run an AI, right? I had this impression that you needed like a server room, like a proper like mainframe to run and train an AI, right? And then I started to do the research for how to make my chatbot for the stream. And then I thought it would be funny to make an AI tell me how to make an AI, right? So I went to ChatGPT and told him, hey, I want to implement an AI locally on my machine. It has to have these specs, and I want it to do this.
Ricardo Lusoli says, I think most of the computer power is needed in those cases because they need to process a lot of data.
Yes, but when I ask the AI, hey, this is what I want, this is the target, and then told it, this is my computer. Recommend me a model, recommend me an AI to use, right? Recommend me something. How do I go about this? And the fucking AI, ChatGPT, tell me, hey, you're free to choose. Your computer far exceeds every single requirement of all the models. And I'm like, excuse me? What?
Ricardo Lusoli says, what model are you using BTW?
Yeah, so apparently I can use whatever the fuck I want. But then I started to like make more specific like requests. Hello, Nairi. Hello. Long time no see. Hello. Welcome. So I started to make like more specific questions to the model. So, and I was like, hey, this is my target. I want it to be like this more specific. And it went, oh, you see, this AI does like this and this AI does that. And this model is more fit for this and blah, blah, blah. And it recommended me like 2 or 3 different ones.
DZ says, quite slow though even on high-end consumer GPU.
Really? Because, you see, on my computer, the AI actually answers like really, really fucking fast. Like 0.4 seconds max? Yeah. You see, I'm not really training the AI. I'm just like using the current existing model. So that's probably a big advantage. But I also found out that I can just rent a computer farm to train the model and then download it to my computer. So I can literally train the AI by renting something and then just putting it on my computer. I was like, this is like...
Yeah, training is way harder than running.
Yes. I was like...
Ricardo Lusoli says, it's just textual data and not that much of it, so I don't think it would be that slow.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is far easier than I thought it would be. I thought I was going to be like training AI for 6 months straight. My computer like heating up so much, it starts like giving off like actual radiation. Yeah. But no. It's not something that dramatic. Yeah. I actually think I can make my own AI from scratch now. Also, you ask what models do I have? What kind? Let me open my thingy and I will tell you. Because I didn't memorize the models. I was just trying.
Ricardo
random ones.
Lucoli says, hello.
Hello! Why do you want to make one from scratch? Can you just repurpose another? Because I want to learn, basically. It's knowledge that I seek that might be useful for other stuff. Yeah. So, the models I have the OpenAI GPT-OSS-20B, that is a chat box. I was just playing with it, not really going to use it. For the graph thingy that I'm doing for my notes, I'm using a BGE
DZ
M3.
says, DeepSeek.
I believe DeepSeek is an option. Yeah, let me see. Yep, I have access to a bunch of DeepSeek stuff. Yeah. It's surprisingly easy to get a hold of these models. Yeah. Yeah, I also need to know that I can do it myself. I don't want to be carried all the way, so I need to know I can do it myself. Yes. That name. The first time I saw it today, Hugging
DZ
Face?
says, tons of models on Hugging Face.
Yeah. When I saw that name, I was like, what the fuck? Is this a Aliens reference? That's fucking horrifying. Yeah. I was like, is this an Alien reference? And then I saw the icon and I was like, I'm confused. I thought I was going to see the xenomorph plastered over the whole website. It was so confusing. Yeah, that would have been impressive. Then again, that would prompt me to start using the AI only to make
Ricardo
horror games.
Lucoli says, disappointing.
Yeah, it kinda is. I also expected the face hugger all over the website. Yeah. But yeah, it seems that using AI is quite probable now. Yeah. It would be interesting. Yes. Andrew Carparty. Okay, let me save that name. Yeah, because you see, I do have proper academic training.
Chesham says, Mew, Andre Karpathy has a great series on YouTube about building a small LLM. Starts with neural network and goes up.
Yeah, you see, I do have proper training on the use of neural networks. I actually had a whole year of what is it called, classes at university about how to do that. Yeah, So I do have like training on AI. So it's not my forte, mind you, but it is something I can do. Yeah. So I'm very tempted to actually implement that. Yes.
Chesham says, yeah, I'm in my master's for AI. Neural network classes are fun.
Yeah, they are very interesting. Yes. Ah. Anyway, shall we begin with the game development? Hmm? What the fuck happened here? Hold on.
Hello, /stream started, hello, E. Waving hand emoji, hello everyone. Wee woo, yeah, training is way harder than running.
Okay, for some reason my whole like interface got like moved around. Okay, don't worry about it, Ricardo. Yeah. It's fine, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, okay, let me open a sprite. Because I got a bunch of games, now my...
Ricardo Lusoli says, I am feeling a bit sick today, so I might not stay until the end of stream today.
Yeah. Because I got a bunch of games, my quick like access menu on Steam is not like showing me what I want. Okay, so let's do a little one over, right? So I improve quite a bit of the graphics. Our little guy has movement, has an attack. Ouch. Ouch. So we are missing the wind down. Oh, we were working on that last time. I remember now.
Historia says, Ricardo Lusoli used metal pipe.
I notice. Oh wait, I forgot my chibi. Hold on. Chibi. Chibi. Come here, Chibi. Aquí. Okay, so we are just missing the stone animation, the wind down. And I believe we were working on that. Aside from that, we are... What is it missing? Apparently none. It's just the wind down. From what I see. Huh? Oh, excuse the alert. And we are missing a neutral animation from the error there. Okay, let's solve the neutral animation first. So the issue is that we need a neutral for this line. For hunting, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we don't have a neutral here for hunting. That's the ones I need to replace. These are like slightly different, huh? This is like more dark. Or the wandering. Yeah, it seems like... Okay, I will use this for the hunting one. So I will just say on. I will use this one for the neutral. The wandering has the issue that is like a little bit darker. Yeah, okay, so I will just copy these ones. Move them over here.
Elements of surprise!
Okay, that actually made me jump. Okay, I'm going to remove these ones. WDG, okay. And I will just say, hey, WDG.
Ricardo Lucoli says, Lamau the pause.
Ah! WDG. WDG. Okay, and that's the wandering update. I already put the missing sprites. So we are not just missing the wind down animation. And I believe that was what we were working before. So let me see. Yeah, here it is. This is the animation, if I recall correctly. We didn't quite finish it, but it looks kinda cute. I feel like it has like too much like wind up here. Maybe I should remove this frame. So it's like more of a bounce. That looks way better. What do you guys think? So we have the bounce, right? Now, what I want is to make it so it comes to a stop. So what I'm going to do is just grab the whole set. Let's put that tag here and just call it the bounce.
Ricardo Lucili says, bouncy.
Bouncy. Kinda reminds me of Drowsia's Soul from Kirby Canvas Course. I have actually not played that game. Yeah. Let's call this no. Okay.
Ricardo Lucili says, kinda reminds me of Josh's Soul from Kirby Canvas Curse.
The bounce is only, unlike Russia's Soul, the slime doesn't do the demonic screech. And it has the color palette of a can vomit. With that description, now I kinda know what you're like talking about. I have the feeling that I saw a lot of video about a keyboard game that show an enemy like that. Yeah. Okay, so we do the bounce, right? And then here we are like going up again. And then we fall. That's the bounce. We fall again. And here, instead of bouncing the same way.
Ricardo Lucili says, the bounciness only, unlike Josh's Soul, the slime doesn't do demonic shrieks, neither has the color palette of clown vomit.
Here, what I'm going to do is... I wish I could like move the whole like frame as a whole. Okay. So instead of bouncing off again, I'm going to just have it like roll where it is. Right, so it will be let me fix the outline so I can like align it a little bit just to see how it looks. So it will look like this. Oh wait, it's just only playing the bounce, huh?
DZ says, jiggle physics.
Uh, huh. Okay. Really? So it goes like that. That's like a big change right there. Let me move this frame back. So it goes like this. And then we can duplicate this frame a few times. I just go like this. Wasn't there a way to... Yeah, I can like connect this, right? Somehow. Yeah. Oh. That would like make my life easier. Right? So we go like this.
Ricardo Lucoli says, that just made me imagine a scenario and now I'm laughing.
A scenario? What do you mean? Let me really remove the tags. They're just in the way. Oh, that looks actually quite nice. Actually, maybe I should like add a few extra frames. Maybe here. Make it like look like you are slowing down. Right? I can duplicate this, like this. I'm just trying to make my own work easier. From what comes next. Yeah.
Ricardo Lucoli says, so you know those random anime scenes where someone falls face first into a girl's chest?
If that happened with Verthandy, the only thing the person would get is a concussion because of the armor. Yes, you are indeed correct. Do you wanna know a little bit of a funny, like, behind the scenes thing? When I requested my model, right? When I had this designed, originally, Ars had it made with jiggle physics. But then I told him, hey, doesn't that like look pretty weird? Because it's supposed to be armor. And he went,
Ricardo
oh.
Lucili says, if it happened with Verthandy, the only thing the person would get is a concussion because of the armor.
Yeah. He went, oh. You see, even when it's armor, most of the people that commission us to make a VTuber model insist on having the jiggle physics. You are the first person to ask us to remove it. Yeah. So there you go, a little behind the scenes. Yeah. Something funny.
Mundo96 says, lol.
Yeah. I suppose simply my target audience is different. That actually looks nice. Huh. I just need to fix the shine. Okay, so it looks like this. Should I like add a little extra here where we can make it like tremble a little bit, like we like that, and then I do this when I just go back the other way. So it looks like this. I need to push this a little bit more. That was the regular one. The regular HAL.
Historia says, DZ played Howl.
Did you base your armor of any rare armor or just design it to look and call up and appealing? Well, have I shown the armor references before? I don't remember. I can show you the references. Let's see, what is it?
Historia says, Ricardo Lusoli used Crash.
He did indeed. Let's see. Is this it? No, this is not it. Where did I put them? I'm pretty sure. There it is. You see, I wanted to have a certain kind of color scheme. So I use a few things. For example, let me show them off. We have
Ricardo Lusoli says, I remember that it was mostly inspired by Weiss from RWBY.
Yeah, we have this. I use this as a reference for the armor, right? It's just literally a crystal. Then we have these jewels that I found around. I also have this right here. That is for the crystal in the armor, right? Also, I based it on Wise, yes. But also for the armor, I use these images. What else?
Mundo96 says, neat.
I use also this. Let's see, what else? For the face, I use this. Oh, did it not load? It didn't load. Maybe I have too many stuff on the screen. Hold on. Hold on. Clearing screen. This? That is a work in progress, like image from another VTuber?
Rose from the sea foam and took the ship as her own.
Yeah, you can see there is a lot of similarities on the faces and colors. Also, I have a, where is it? For the mirror team, I have. All right, for my face, there is also this one. You can see, you can probably see the similarities, the similarities. Yeah. And what else? For the mirror
Mundo96 says, nice.
team, I also have this stuff. Mirror and stuff. What are you? This. this. For the horror element, we have this. Ah, it didn't load. Some of these images just randomly don't load. Yeah, some of these images like randomly don't even load for no reason. Like 3 or 4 have not loaded. What else? For the logo, we have this.
Mundo96 says, yeah, I can see it.
Oh, they won't like show. Yeah, this image don't really load. What else? For my cape, it came from here. From this one, the blue one, is where you find my cape, my coat, right? Also, we have where is it? This as a reference for colors of the outfit. Also, obviously, this person right here. I don't know why that one is so small. This one. And for the rapier, my weapon, we have this. Yeah. That's basically all the references for the model. I have others for the room, but that's basically the references I use. Yeah. So you can see I grab from all over the place. I didn't grab from a single location. Yes. The reference shows more Meotion. Yes, indeed it does. So there you go.
Mundo96 says, cool thumbs up, +1, thumbs up.
You know what? I feel like this doesn't look quite correct. How about instead of like making it like move side to side, how about I make it like a little bit bigger, like this? And then we grab the same one and shrink it. And then we make it big again. Then we shrink it once more. That way it looks like this. Ah, that doesn't really look right. Hmm. Hmm. 1 second. My cat wants to leave the room. I'll be right back. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. 1 second.
Historia says, check my Twitter.
Nyanya menyanya ju nyanya tono nyara bide nyaku nyaku nyanya ku nyanya han nyanya dai nyanya ku nyara bete nyaga nyaga me.
Hello. I was thinking you will say a reflect water like John and Dark or something, since it's the only warm garden I can think of on the top of your head. It's very rare for me to actually base characters out of something like that. Yeah. I don't know. It's not that I don't base like lore or out reality.
Historia says, Ricardo Lusoli used Nyanyam.
Yum, yum, yum. It's more of a, what to call it? I don't know how to reference this. The character was based of characters I like, basically. Every like anime character that I liked or historic person that I actually like, I used as a reference. I would say in like few words, that's the way I will describe it. That's how I like choose what reference to use. Not so much on something like very specific. Yeah. Okay, that looks better, I think. Let me get rid of these two. Right, I will grab this and duplicate it. So we look more like this. Like it rolls, stops, struggles a little, and then shrinks. Right? Then I can fix the colors a little bit to make it look more normal. Okay, and I also need to fix the outline a little bit. And that should look like this. That actually looks kinda nice. There is a little hole here. Yeah, that looks actually really nice. E. Yeah, I think I like how this looks. Right, and now I can just set it like this.
Daisy says, N-E.
And E. I need to make it so the chibi doesn't actually say the commands like that. Yeah. Actually, that should be an easy fix. Hold on. I can just simply say like that. That should already clear the issue. There we go. Okay, so now the only issue I have with this is that we are missing something. Hold on, let me open a file real quick. This one, okay. So when you see this guy, you can see there is like a lower half that is in contact with the ground, right? But we don't have that here. I was planning on maybe adding it to make it look like right. So it will begin from this spot basically. Right? And I just need to stretch it a little bit to make it fit. And here is the opposite. I need to make it slimmer. Right? Actually, let me fix this. I bet I can make this look even better if I actually do it manually. Okay, so here this area is a bit too big. Like that. And then I can use this to make the edge.
Ricardo Lucili says, good night.
Okay, good night. Rest well, Ricardo. Good night, good night. See you later. Thank you for coming to the stream. See you. Bye-bye. Good night. Good night. Rest well. Okay, that looks okay. Here I need to fix this. Actually, that
Chesham says, night.
Night. Okay. And I do this to mark the edge. Like that. Then I can just set it like
Mundo
this.
96 says, Ricardo waving, hand, wave.
Wave.
Element of surprise!
Good night. Actually, I can make this easier if I just do this. I don't know why I'm like complicating myself so much.
Deezy says, good night.
Good night. Ah. There we go. Alright, I can just link this to make it look good. And here I can just grab this color. Over to this. Go back, grab the other color. Connect. There we go.
Tyler Wright says, Mew, you are so consistent in your streams. I get burnt out often. Got any advice?
Well, you see, I actually learned something very interesting. Often, before I actually get to work on anything, I have this feeling of like, I don't want to do it today. What if I just skip it, right? And when I sit down, I'm like, I don't want to do it, right? I'm like annoyed by the very concept of having to actually do it, right? Not about the work. Maybe it's just like even trying, right? And then there is also this feeling of, I don't want to do this, right? But not on streaming, on more of the, I don't have to like make art the whole stream, right?
Mundo96 says, lol.
It's like, I'm a programmer, not an artist, right? Why am I like making art? Maybe I should just pay someone to do it, right? And I discover, after like being on university for a while, that this is something I call inertia. Basically, because I'm not working on the project, the act of starting requires effort, right? But once I actually sit and start doing it, that feeling vanishes. And the more I work, the more I like want to keep going, right? So it takes me actually effort to stop.
Mundo96 says, yeah.
So I eventually learned to like, whenever I feel like that I don't want to do it, I train myself to immediately think, it's the inertia. I need to get the ball rolling, right? Once I start actually doing it, that feeling will vanish. I need to be aware of that like law of inertia, that it requires energy to put something in motion, and it takes effort to stop. Yeah. And that feeling that I get just before actually starting is like the effort I need to do to actually get the ball rolling.
Mundo96 says, I see it.
Yeah. I discovered a lot of the issues I have are just that inertia. And to remain consistent, it's actually really funny. You see, I see streaming like a commitment, right? Because I told everyone watching my stream that I stream every day at this time, and I always go for 3.5 hours from 6:30 to 10, right? Because I made this promise. I have this like feeling of duty to the people watching, because I know
DZ says, the other answer is beatings.
the other answer is feelings. Basically, I made like it feels like a commitment. It feels like a duty, right? Because something I do is that I plan ahead, right? So when I tell someone, hey, I'm going to be here at this time, when I go there and they don't show up or show 20 minutes late, or an hour late, or they simply don't show up and they don't bother to actually let me know, it really pisses me off, right? So when I tell you I will be here, I put myself on your shoes and your shoes if I choose to not to, right? I already plan my day around your schedule. So I
Tyler Wright
expect you
says,
to
that
fulfill
makes
it.
sense, thank you.
Yeah. That's why I'm so consistent. It's because it feels like I'm giving a class, maybe? Yeah. It's a promise, basically. Also, because I'm technically receiving money, even if it's like a very minuscule amount, I am receiving money from Patreon and from sometimes from the very alerts people use on stream. So technically I'm being paid, right? So it feels like a betrayal if I don't actually provide a product for the money I'm receiving. Yeah. That's why I'm actually kind of conflicted about the Patreon, because I'm very inconsistent with the Patreon. That's something I want to change. Yeah. And you receive money from your job, but you're not very enthusiastic about it? You see, that particular issue, I think it comes more to the fact that this is something we said here in where I live, that if you pretend you paid me fairly, I will pretend I'm giving you a good job. Right? If you pretend to pay me, I will pretend to work. Basically. Basically, they are like,
Tyler Wright says, fair.
yeah. It's basically an equivalent exchange. If you pretend you are paying me for my time fairly, I will pretend I'm doing a fair work for you. Yes. I believe it has to do more with that than anything. And here is slightly different, right? Because this is something I set up myself. So you are basically clients. You are not, what to call it? You are not like my boss.
DZ
You are my
says,
client.
the Russian excuse. The government
So-
pretends to pay us, we pretend to work.
Yeah. So basically, because you are not a boss, you are a client. So I can only blame myself if I don't earn enough, right? So not being paid fairly is like a skill issue. Yeah. Basically. So if someone, like you say, Mundo, if you don't show up, to me it's like, maybe I'm not being entertaining enough. Maybe I'm not like doing my job correctly, right?
Mundo96 says, I need to show up more often. I've been acting spotty these past few weeks.
So yeah. Because you are technically clients, not a boss, I cannot really use the excuse that I'm not earning enough, right? Because my brain immediately says, hey, skill issue. Yeah. So that's how I remain consistent, basically. Inertia, skill issue. And a sense of duty. Mind you, you actually at work right now and got a second screen for programming, but used mostly to watch stream while working. Yeah. I actually do the same. There is one thing I need to be clear. I prioritize.
DZ says, I'm actually at work RN. Got a second screen for programming, but used mostly to watch streams while working remote.
Yeah. I completely lost my train of thought. Alright. I prioritize players over viewers. So if you come to see my stream, but don't participate on, for example, when we play multiplayer games or play my prototype or that kind of stuff, I actually will prioritize people who play over people who just watch, because I'm mainly a game dev, right? So my priority should be always on the player. In my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, because I want to be mainly a dev, not so much a streamer. That's my goal, right? That being said, I'm not going to ignore the stream.
Mundo96 says, in my opinion that's a fair take.
Yeah. Proper noticias helps you a lot. Well, I always take a cup of coffee before I join the stream. Not because it helps with the programming or the art or anything of that sort. Not even my ability to play games. I take a cup of coffee. So maybe, just maybe, I will be a tiny bit more entertaining. So I'm not completely devoid of life in the middle of the stream.
DZ says, not enough nutrition can make you feel weak and lazy.
Yeah, that's true. That actually doesn't happen to me often. Only like around midday when I'm like juggling in between if I want to eat or I should finish whatever I'm doing. Yeah. Am I plenty entertaining? Really? Because sometimes I'm not sure. What is the range of this? 50%. Okay. So this would be 50%. Okay. So now, this is the completed animation. Ready, set, go. That actually
Tyler Wright
looks
says, you are plenty entertaining Tilden ya.
Tilden nyo. That actually looks really nice. It just maybe a little bit too fast at the end. So let me add a few more frames. I'm just going to link this. One moment. One moment. There we go. So it looks like this. That looks really nice, actually. Yeah. To be honest, I discovered your channel when I was recovering from an injury last year and recently
Tyler
went
Wright
back to
says,
work.
ha ha ha.
Ah. Yeah. I see this. I see. Yeah, sometimes work can get in the way. And it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. I don't expect everyone to catch my streams. That's why I make it as easy as possible, as predictable as possible. So you guys don't like have issues with that? Yeah. That actually doesn't look quite right. That's the feel. Yeah, this feels like it should be more. Okay, that doesn't work. Let me just do it manually then. It feels like it should be like more like this. It doesn't quite look correct. Yeah, that's better. Actually, it is not. On the other side, doesn't feel correct.
Tyler Wright says, doing great Mew. I'm heading to bed, GN. I would stay but I'm not used to being up so late anymore.
Okay, good night. Don't worry about it. Good night. Rest well. Good night. Good luck. I feel like the outline is like wrong. Am I correct in that? Yeah, it's a little bit off. Huh.
Chesham says, Night Tyler.
Good night. You don't even know how you found my channel? Wow. Wow. Okay, that looks better.
Chesham says, this channel was a random YouTube recommendation like 3 days ago.
Ah, I see. Interesting. You wanna know something that is maybe probably not good? Whenever YouTube recommend me a random channel that I see that has very few viewers, I usually don't really click on it. Yeah. Mainly because usually when I actually check the channel, it often turns out that the person has like awful mic.
Mundo96 says, yeah, YouTube recommended it to me a few months ago before I went back to work, and I just liked your style. Thumbs up, comma +1, thumbs up.
Yeah. I often, whenever I find channels recommended on YouTube, they usually have a reason why they are so small. Either the audio is bad, or the person on the stream doesn't really talk unless there is like people talking in chat. So every time like YouTube recommends me a stream, I'm like, should I like watch, or am I going to be like be hit by another like a stream with obvious flaws? Yeah. And I don't know if that makes me a bad person. That I don't really support that kind of creators. Yeah. I usually give them a grace period. Yeah. I also think I have something similar. I suppose I watch until they annoy me, basically. And I don't know if it's like a good idea to point out like the issues with the stream. Saying like, hey, maybe you should like raise the volume of your mic. Hey, how about you put like a noise gate on your mic, or you cannot really hear the music.
Chesham says, I usually give them like a 5 to 10 minute grace period to see if I'd like to stick around.
Yeah. The reason it bothers me, have you watched like my first stream? My debut stream? That's painful. I had that really bad mic. It's awful. It's unwatchable. To the point, the only reason I have not deleted that video is because I'm like, it has historical value, right? So that's why I have not deleted it, right? But it's painful. To the point I was like, you can not even understand what I'm saying. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to put subtitles on it because holy shit, you cannot really tell what I'm saying.
Chesham says, bad mics really bother you, ho.
Yeah. Yes, but it took me like 4 streams to actually fix it. Yeah. And my Zelda 1 archive, that also is painful. Yeah. Yes, it's normal to not like your own voice. I believe so. But that's not a voice issue. Yeah. Okay, that looks nice. Let me save. And let's export a spreadsheet, open file, vertical. Let's call this one. Let's call it like that. Export. And then we go over
Chesham
here.
says, I think that's a pretty common thing for content creators.
How long I've been working as a stream? Since I began streaming. So that would be a year and 10 months. Yeah. Yeah. My first stream is awful. All capitals letters. Awful. Okay, let me import the wine down. I'm just going to grab this, duplicate, and these ones I'm going to just call deprecated because I don't want to lose the originals.
Chesham says, how long have you been working on this game?
Yeah, around a year, 10 months. I can never tell if my mic is going to pick up the ambulances. What's the plot of it? Well, you see, a lot of VTubers have something called a lore video, where they basically give you the background of the character, right?
Chesham
they
says,
are.
what's the plot for it?
Yeah, who they are, what they do, what is basically the basic outline of the character they are playing. Well, I had this very stupid idea of, instead of making this animated lore video, that it would be expensive if I were to commission it, and difficult if I were to make it myself. I decided to make a lore game, which is more expensive and more difficult by 10 orders of magnitude. Yay!
Mundo96 says, of the game or her backstory?
Yeah. So, originally the game was not meant to be about me, but I had the funny, like, idea of, like, making this little sprite of me as the main character. It was meant to be just a placeholder, but eventually it just, like, stuck, and the game became about my lore. Yeah. So for the plot of the game, it's very simple. I'm like part of a noble family, right? The main branch. So I'm directly under the head of the family and technically in line for the title of the duchy. But I'm like the 12th person online for it. And I'm descended from a noble and a commoner. So I'm not very like liked within the family. So in an act of bullying, my cousins dropped me into a ballet that is meant to be there to test the people who will be like contenders for being the head of the family to inherit the duchy. The valley itself is basically an area of the duchy where storms constantly hit, and the valley itself has a bunch of dungeons in it, and the trial that you need to complete to be like eligible to be part of the inheritance line, basically, is to complete 9 dungeons, collect the relics in them, and exit through the north of the valley. The entrance of the valley is on the south, and you need to go through the whole gauntlet of dungeons, collect the relics,
Holy EID.
Hola Spy, and then head to the north side of the
Historia
valley to exit.
says, check my Twitter.
Yay! That's the color game. But the valley has a secret that is part of my lore. There is a reason I'm highlighting this particular like event of my lore, right? The valley has a secret. And mind you, the conditions where I entered this valley are very unique. Because, of course, having like noble children like conquer dungeons in the middle of nowhere by themselves with no help tends to have a very high mortality rate, right? So usually what happens is
DZ says, hola.
Hola, when a child of the nobility is to undertake the trial, guards go into the valley and they kill the monsters. If any of the bosses are a little bit too much, they slay it so it can be replaced by a weakened one that it will slowly gain power, right? So they do like this lowering of the difficulty of the challenge of the trial, right? So they basically make it so it's not so deadly. This is not how originally it was meant to be, right? The trial. because the house I belong to it was.
Chesham says, "Hi, spy."
Hi. So it was supposed to be like a house of explorers and knights, right? That's why they have the trial to begin with, right? They need someone that is capable to actually lead the house. But that is like a relic of the long past. The noble house no longer is like that, right? They are knights and explorers in name only, right? That's why they call the monsters in the valley before the child actually tries to undergo the trial. But in my case, I'm thrown into the valley out of bullying. The calling has not happened yet. Seeing this, and because I have an interest of...
DZ says, but in historical dramas and such, writers usually omit chaperones because they get in the way of the story.
Yeah. Because this is basically an act of bullying. The bullying has not happened. And I have an interest of actually taking the trial as it should be. So I take the chance to go through the trial as it's supposed to be. Which opens something, a secret, in the valley that not many had actually seen because of the calling and other secrets. So this game actually tells you what happened during the trial in my lore. A trial that is undertaken without it being watered down, basically. Yeah. That's the lore of this game. That's the plot. Yeah. This is the nonsensical project I made instead of a proper lore video. If I had actually just made a video, I'm pretty sure I will have like 4 lore videos by now. Yeah. Yes. Also, you might notice that
At its
Historia...
heart, where the storm first struck, dwells, veiled in mist and regret, a siren bound to guard the stolen relic no mortal hand was meant to hold.
There you go. Just as I was going to say, my bot, Historia, randomly drops like lore pieces about the game and my lore. Yeah. Of course, there is like pieces that has been censored because they are spoilers. Yeah. But there you have it. That's the background about this game. Yeah. And I was trying to import the sprite. This is the original sprite, where the slime just slams on the ground and stays there. Yes, making a game is way more interesting. That's why I did it. But it might have been a
Historia
little bit
says,
much.
at its heart, where the storm first struck, dwells, veiled in mist and regret, a siren bound to guard the stolen relic no mortal hand was meant to hold.
Yeah. Let's see, what is the right there? Open. And we will adjust things. We have how many frames? We have 28 frames. Okay. So 28 frames. all in one row. Convert. Meow. And there we go. We have the animation. Yeah. Yeah, making a game takes quite a bit of time.
DZ says, making a game also takes a lot of time.
It does indeed. Shall we see how it looks in game? The sprite? Hello? I'm here. It looks quite nice actually. Let me bring it over here. I need to make a little change there because the animation doesn't look good. Damn it. Hold on. Because the slime just stops in place. That's an issue. Let's see. Interrupted. I roll down. I don't need this here. And let me check. Wind up attack. This is not the issue. I need to check the parents. Open parent events. Let's see. We are looking for the wind down. Wind down. Wind down right there. This is stopping
Basil
the
Basil
speed.
says, do you prefer red grapes or white grapes?
Do you prefer red grapes or white grapes?
What are white grapes? I know the green ones. Red grapes? I think I have seen them. I don't think I have tasted any of those. So I couldn't really say. On white down. Oh, there is actually a function called on wind down. On moving, on hits, uninterrupted. Oh, do I not have it here, really?
Basil Basil says, the white grapes are green colored.
Oh, white grapes are green color? Why would they call it white grapes? Well, the one I get the most is white ones then. Not that I particularly like them. Okay, so this would be the normal behind behavior here. Let me overwrite this. So we go over here and I will set it here.
DZ says, the same reason they call red onions red when they're purple.
I have no idea why they call them red when they are purple. Maybe it's the same reason why they call Greenland green, even though Greenland is not really green. And why they called Iceland Iceland when there isn't really that much ice. Yeah, maybe that's why. Movement. I want to use this reference right here. Actually, let me grab it from here. My cat also does that kind of stuff. That's why I always have to keep an eye on them, even when I'm streaming. On wind down, I will. Here I will just set.
DZ says, they called Greenland green to attract more people to live there in the past.
I will just remove this one. Move speed, direction. How do I check the index of the sprite? Hold on. Manuel, tell me. Image index, okay. So if we hit something, I will just simply jump to this one, 17. Over here should be 16. We just simply jump to that. And we jump to 16. And this is moving. So what I need to do is lower the speed as we go. Movement speed is set to 1. Okay. That means I will probably need to override the wind down animation end here. This one. Okay. So over here, I will also set movement speed equals to 1. And here, what I'm going to do is, after each movements, I will grab movement speed and I will half it.
Spy.rabbit says, MP3.
MP3! Does my phone keep getting picked up by the mic? Why does that always happen? Even though my phone is like on the other side of the planet. Okay. Let's give it a check. In theory, I should fix the issue I had. Okay, so we call the attention. Bring him over here, up. And then interact from below. It did nothing. Lovely.
Daisy says, somewhat.
Somewhat. Let's see. How do I... Okay. In theory, this should be working. Unwind down. I'm inheriting here. Interrupted, so that doesn't matter.
Spy.rabbit says, Como de vuelta XDDD.
What? Ah, como de vueltas. That's moving. Hit. Wind down. This is the same name, right? Yeah, it's the same name. Oh. Hold on, let me go over here. And I will use the bow function. Immediately stop. Why did you stop? Okay. Oh, it did actually trigger? Interesting. Huh? Why is it not playing? Oh, it is playing. Is it maybe going too slow? Is that the issue? Let me make this like... higher. I can talk. Come on. Yeah, it doesn't like actually do what I thought it would. What the fuck? Okay, let's see. Movement speed 1. Okay. So here is moving 4 on vertical direction. Then the next step is half. So that is 2. Is it maybe going down too fast? Is that the issue? How about if instead of doing it like this, I make it go down a specific amount, like 0.1? Oh, and by the way, the reason probably why my phone is getting picked up by the... Whoa! Excuse me? Ah, not that great. Oh! I have just created the boomerang slime. What the hell? Okay, that's not something I expect to happen. Okay. Let's go with the smaller steps. How about if I make it like dependent on the image index? So more likely even bolder than a slime. I will set image to movement speed to 0 here, so I can like stop that. I don't need a return here. And I cannot optional that if speed is less or equal to 0, we just go into this to avoid the boomerang ability. Oh, it got stuck. Lovely. I see. It's because this is triggering constantly. So I will separate this and I will just say if movement speed is greater than 0, do this. Come here. I need to update the alert thingy. I see the sprite is like it becomes like non-transparent when the alert triggers, so I need to update that. Oh, it worked! Nice. It's just the speed is a bit too high. Maybe I'll go cut this to a lower value. Yeah, let's cut this a bit. That looked nice. Oh, are you stuck? He's stuck. Lovely. Why? Oh. So the problem doesn't happen when he's wandering. Huh. Yeah, it seems it got stuck. Hmm. Now it should trigger. Right. It's quite a big jump, I will say. Oh, missing wandering neutral. Okay, there is an issue with the fact that it gets stuck after the attack. Maybe I should like lower this also a bit. Let's see if that works. Hold on. I'm trying to adjust this. Come here. That looks more cute. I like it. I like it. I got stuck. It actually looks really bouncy. I like it. What do you guys think? The only issue is that the recovery doesn't look quite right. Yeah, that looks really nice. Now the only issue is that after we go to this, it kinda like doesn't quite look nice when it goes back, right? So how about we improve this? So I will duplicate this, place that here, over here, please. So it looks like we go up again. I can modify the eyes, so it's more like that, right? And then I can grab these two frames. These two. Grab the eyes. I can remove this one. Place this like there. What is this below? Where did that? It's still on the face. There we go. So we go like that, and then place this here. Right? We go like that, and I can copy this also. Put it over here. So it goes like this. And then I can lower this. Like that. And can modify the field also. The eyes can go lower. Right? So it goes like this. And then we just land. I can grab this frame from here. We give it the face. And I can move this apart a little bit. Okay, maybe that would actually work. Hold on, let me export this. Okay, we go back over here. And right here, edit image, import strip image, we grab the, where is it? This one, open. And this time we have how many frames? 33. So we add it to the values here. Convert. Yeah. So now it should like do the thing. Right? So when we play the animation, it should look like this. There we go. That looks really nice, actually. I think we're missing some frames at the end there, though. Let's see. Let me open the idle file. 1 second. Where is it? Right here. There it is. Okay, got it. So we have this little guy, right? And these are just 4 frames. So what I want to do is grab all 4 frames, copy the whole thing, right? And I will paste it over here. These whole frames, I will move it to the end. And I believe the one with the... shit. Cancel. Which one is the one with the thing here? There it is. This here I want to clear. The outline is like not, it need really not transfer the outline quite correct. Huh. Oh, maybe the outline is somewhere else. Hold on, let me hide everything. So this is the face. That's the bottom. This is the shine. And that's the fill. Okay. So we'll grab this. And just move it from position. Okay, and then this is, I hide this. This is what? The shine. Okay, so let's grab the shine, put it over here. Do the same here, put it there. Take, paste, take, paste. Okay, so we have the shine. What is this? This is the bottom. Okay. So cut, face, cut, face, cut, face, cut, face. Okay. So this here is nothing. That's the outline right there. And this one is the face. Okay. So grab this. Place that. Place that. Place that. Place here. Okay. And the outline over here. Okay. So select that. Place that. Place here. Place here. Okay. And with that we have everything in place. There we go. And I need to hide this. That face is kind of scary. Do you want me to make an enemy like that, where it's just a floating face? It kinda reminds me of the flying masks in Mario World, and the angry sun from some of those levels. Yeah. In case the animation look like this. That looks nice actually. Right? Well, maybe I can move these eyes so they align a little bit more. Oh, that's not the right layer. Right? Oh, why is this move also? The fuck? Wait, the hell? Hold on, undo everything. Why did that like move everything? Huh? Oh, because I selected the whole thing? Oh, you can do that? I just learned something. Okay, here I'm just going to like add the face so it looks like more clean. Actually, it looks weird. Let me remove this. What do you think? Does that look nice? This is probably the animation that has the most frames I have made so far. Okay. Let's see. Image, import, strip image, this thing. We now have how many frames? 37. 37 frames. Was this your first venture into pixel art? Yes, actually. This game is my first attempt to pixel art. Indeed. What do you think? How would you judge my skills in pixel art currently? Ah, that looks really nice, actually. Very good. Nice. I'm glad to hear it. By the way, all enemies that leave a room, leave the area of the camera, they just die. So actually tricking the enemy into going into the outside the map is actually a good tactic to killing them. The moving animation is not like something I really like. I feel like it lacks like the proper animation. It doesn't feel like it's actually like moving correctly. Yeah. Also, it's getting stuck there. I need to fix that bug. Okay, now we have this animation. You mean my actual character? The player character? No, I was meaning about the slime. But I will admit my player character is looking awful. You see, the player character, this guy right here, was the first sprite I made in the whole game. This, as you see it now, is actually my first attempt at pixel art. The very first. Yeah. The walking animation of the slime is not like satisfying to me. So I might update it. Why not? It's because it feels like it's like floating. It doesn't feel like it's kicking off the ground when it's moving, right? It feels more like it's like dragging on the ground instead of actually like moving. It feels like it's floating and just happens to drag on the ground. It doesn't look like he's jumping. Yeah. That's the issue. That's why I don't really like it. Coda shadow mechanic. I can do that actually, probably. It will like help with the positioning. Yeah. At least we stood 30-35. It's not that difficult. I don't think it will be that difficult. Well, at least as long as you are not asking me to make like an animating, then it's not that difficult. Just put in a shadow. Okay. Just make a black circle as the shadow? Yeah, that's what I was thinking doing. Yeah. Pretty much. Then I will have to make the shadow generic to make it like so is for every character. Yeah. So we have the wind down animation when we attack forwards. We are still missing the ones to right, left, up and down. Ain't that lovely? Do you think it will work if I just like flip the whole thing here? If I literally just say, hey, rotate 180, like that? Do you think that works? I don't think it works. Even though in theory it should work. I don't think that works. Okay. Let me think. If I hide the face, how does that look? It actually doesn't look bad. Huh. It just doesn't look like it's rotating. Right? This makes the rotating feeling, right? Actually, I can maybe use this. And actually, let me call this face noun. So I don't like overwrite everything I did. And I will just make a new layer. Let's call this one face up. Right? So here on the first frame, we don't really need the... Actually, maybe I can just place this to make the simulation that there is like something there. Selection. Can I like flip vertical and then just place it there to make it look like there is ice there, right? And then when we do that, that should not be visible. Here is when we should start seeing, right? And I can just copy this over here. Right there. So it looks like it's coming up, right? And the next, it should be looking like this one. This one over here. Right? So it goes like that. And the next one is the same but higher up. I can use this one. Over here. Right? And I just put it right there. So it looks like this. And then we cannot see it again. And we hit the ground. Here, where I replicate this. Right there. Then we bounce again. 2 frames of nothing. Actually, I can just copy this one here. For this. No. This one. This one. Right there. No, that's not right. That we should not be seeing anything here until here. So this should be here. Right there. Right? And then we should be able to see this here, down here, and I will flip this. What are you? Like that. That should be this here at the very edge to simulate the rotation. Then we stop the tremble, the down, and here I do the same thing I did over here. We place that, and I can just link this. Save me frames, then it gets up, and we're good. right? So it should be looking like this. Yeah, that actually looks nice. Huh. Your members asked me to make Gimal accounts for his wife and son. I tried some tutorial videos on YouTube, but all of them are too long. And all of them are an obnoxious music. You just want to send the tutorial video? I understand what you mean. How does that look? That rotating upwards, right? And then we have the one rotating on the other direction. Right? That looks really good, in my opinion. Yeah. So let me export this one. Let's call this up. Then. And let's go over here and import here. Image, import, stream mesh, quick one the up, and that's correct. Load. There we go. Let's see how it looks. Q 6 months later, you're no longer satisfied to go back to the drawing board. I tend to do that, yes. Alright, I need to have it over here. Oh wait, that speed was weird. Oh, the frame set is not correctly. Okay. There we go. The frame rate was wrong. Down here. It actually looks pretty good. I got stuck. Maybe if my skills in animation like increase greatly in 6 months, then I will be like, okay, I need to change that. You're no longer satisfied, and then back to the drawing board. At the acceleration. Yeah. I think it looks pretty nice. Okay. Now that we have that, should I make the other faces? Hmm. I feel like I can. Okay, so we're here. Let me hide this. I need a single eye. I will just grab this. Copy, paste. And hide this. So it will be like this. Right? And then we bounce. And this eye is going to have to go over here. Right? And then we move. And this one has to be over here. Then we are going to have to be up. Like that, down here. Then on the next one is going to be up. Like that, right there. I will fix the eyes later. Then again, this, like that. Ah, not quite there. There we go. There. Ah. Like that, and then we land again. This one I will put like mid-roll, like right there. This one right there, right here, Then here is where we slow down. So I just place this here, and then I just link. So we expand that, and here I just move this way. Right there, and I link. Okay, and then we go into the trembling, right? And I can link all this. And poof. We link all this. And then here we jump up, right? So I set it like this right there. And then back to the actual thing. Like that. Huh? Yeah. Slimes pretty much like consume everything. I suppose there has to be like a limit. There are, I bet there is stuff like the membrane that keeps the body like contained, doesn't pick up. Yeah, I think there has to be like a limit of what you pick up. Yeah. Maybe you can choose like opening a hole in the membrane to let stuff in. Yeah. Let me grab this face. Copy. And we go back over here, place that. And I will just move this over here. That looks so silly. Maybe a little bit higher. That looks kinda nice. Like cells? Yeah. I see like slimes like a single cell. Like this huge like single cell organism. That actually looks pretty nice, in my opinion. What do you guys think? It does look good, right? Right? There is just like moments in between the frames that are a bit broken, like this one. Yeah. Okay. Almost there. Almost got it. Just fixing the few frames that are like kind of weird. There we go. Yeah, and there is also, I saw some holes right here. That's on the bottom. Let's see. Okay, that's fine. Now just let me remember what was the... That was at 50%. Okay. 50%. There we go. Now we have the animation. Yeah. Okay, let me save this. And export the spreadsheet. I will call this one right. Export. Then we go to the other side. And this one right here. Edit. Image. Import image. We grab the right one. Okay. It's already set. Yeah. And now that I have this, I can just select the missing one, delete that one, then duplicate this, change the name to class, then open it, image, mirror, all frames, and now we have the left one. Your one is so big. Yeah, it's because I didn't know exactly how to handle the opacity. So that's why it looks like that. You can see there are still some frames that are like completely opaque. Right? That looks really clean, actually. That's the most like forced how of the bunch. It does look so clean. No. Ah, it went outside and died. There we go. We have pretty much all animations. Done for the slime. Yeah. There is just, I believe, the alert one that is like not correct. Is too dark, this one. So what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm just going to, because this is based on the idol, right? What I'm going to do is grab the idol. Right? Copy, paste. Excuse me. Duplicate. Go over here, hide this, and this is just called alt. Okay, so let's delete this. So it will be alt. 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 Okay. There we go. Now we have all the animations correct for the slime. I like how it looks. The only thing I don't like is that walking animation. That's the one thing that is like kinda off with it. Yeah. Am I putting too much attention in a single slime? I know it's weird for me to say it now, after everything I did, but... Maybe next I will update the player. Yeah. Ah. Yeesh. I think I need to a good like rework of the player. Yeah. It feels necessary. Especially seeing this kind of stuff. Yeah, just look at these nonsensical structures. Yeah, I do need to change that. Ah. Yeah, I need to really rework the controls of the player. I can already see a lot of issues here. Yeah. Well, I suppose I will check that next time. We will be reworking the game player. But the slime is complete. This little fellow is complete. Officially, I believe it's done. Yeah. Shall we do a check? Last check for today. So we are right here on the second dungeon. I still need to like work on the overworld. Not gonna lie. There is still too little of the overworld actually like complete. Yeah. But the slimes are like working now. That looks really nice. And he died. The slimes are liars than the trees? Yeah. That is, I suppose, an important detail. It's good that the slime can still, like, kill each other accidentally. That seems like a possibility, really. I think once we have like the foundations of the game well established, everything else is going to just simply work. It will go way more smoothly. Yes. At most, maybe would be every new enemy. It will cause us to delay, maybe. But once I have the core structure, everything should speed up significantly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, because this really needs some updates. Just look at this. There is a lot of issues here. Yeah, the slimes have a really high chance of dying from going out of bounds. Indeed. I could maybe set it so they always go back into the map once they go out instead of dying. Yeah, that would be a little change on behavior for sure. That maybe will be beneficial. I made them die when leaving the map just so I don't have to deal with it, basically. Yeah. So that's one detail. Yeah, but I see a lot of issues here in this code already. From everything I learned about Game Maker, I already see a lot of issues. Yeah. Mainly because maybe people who joined the development later don't know, but I actually didn't know anything about Game Maker when I started this game. I basically learning on the go. Yeah. So there is a bunch of issues like how I'm handling drawing of certain stuff in the player instead of actually putting everything on their own stuff. Yeah. This post draw, there is no issue, no reason for this to be here. Is everything commented? Yeah. Oh. But yeah, there is a bunch of stuff I need to fix everywhere. But I will get to it eventually. Yeah. Okay, let us stop here for today. That is already late and I need to grab something to eat. Yeah. Okay.
And your Zelda archive. To not like your early stuff. The key tell of first-time video creators/streamers is the first video they uploaded/streamed. Holy EID, do you prefer red grapes or white grapes?
D. Okay. Let us stop here for today. Thank you so much for coming to the stream. I will see you guys tomorrow for more Terraria. Yeah. Good night, good night. Bye-bye. Good night, adios, buenas noches. We finished the line. Tomorrow we will, well, not tomorrow, on Tuesday, we will work on the player. Good night, adios, bye-bye, good night, sleep well. Good night, bye-bye, adios, buenas noches. Que descansen. Good night, good night. Bye, bye-bye. New screen. Bye.
What's the plot for it? Of the game or her backstory? I remember this from your lore video.
Oligimotes, cara sonriente.
Hola.
Como tapato.
Spy, duck emoji, waving hand emoji. Hi spy. I mean nobility always have chaperones, realistically.
Abeja apretón de manos.
But in historical dramas and such, writers usually omit chaperones because they get in the way of the story. I like it. Making a game is way more interesting than a lore video. Making a game also takes a lot of time. The lore video could have been completed last year, as opposed to this game's release date in 2030. Do you prefer red grapes or white grapes? Green grapes reign supreme. WTHR white grapes? The white grapes are green colored. I have better fruits than grapes where I'm from, so pass. I'm definitely a red apple fruit guy. The same reason they call red onions red when they're purple. They called Greenland green to attract more people to live there in the past. My cat only sits next to me so he can nom on my headphone cord.
Movistar.mp4. mp3. ._.xd.
Somewhat. My laptop has eye noise filter, so it can filter sounds made from other devices, which is pretty neat.
Como da vueltas xdd.
Based. It's more like a living boulder than a slime. It's turned out really well. It does kind of snap between recovery and normal state, noise. A floating face is kinda scary. Was this game your first venture into pixel art? Looks good. Until a few months later when you decide to rework everything again. Pretty good, but I am definitely no authority on art. Your character you mean? Why not? I think it looks really good. I see what you mean. Maybe its head needs to squish down more. Coda shadow mechanic. Release date pushed to 2035. Just make a black circle as the shadow. My boomer boss asked me to make Gmail accounts for his wife and son. I tried to find some tutorial videos on YouTube, but all of them are too long and have obnoxious music. I just want to send them the tutorial video. Looks nice. Actually pretty smooth. Super smooth. Looks great. Q in 6 months later, you're no longer satisfied and then back to the drawing board. The deceleration. Being a slime must be very uncomfortable, since your body picks up everything like dirt and sand as you move around. Tree lol, that's gotta feel gross. Like cells? Looks good. Looks great. The old one is so opaque.
Cara de lobo apretón de manos.
Yes Lemao. I might be joking about the 2030 thing, but that seems like a possibility. The slimes are larger than the trees. They slimes have like 40% chance of dying in maps with no walls, by going out of map bounds. Prost rat. Oh. Got a phone call and now it's time. Good night everyone. Night y'all. Bye.
Hasta mañana, cara sonriente.
Good night, bye bye. Buenas noches.
Yeah, cara sonriente.
Croissant emoji, rice cracker emoji, banana emoji.
Sandwich.
Croissant emoji. Sun emoji, black star emoji, crescent moon emoji.